been reading about kombucha for a long time, and there are some things that I've read when I was first new to it that I thought were, you know, kind of like gospel. And along the way, I've realized that those things are not true. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you about 3 kombucha myths. Welcome to my kombucha channel. My name is Liz. On this channel, I like to provide tips and tutorials to help you make awesome kombucha while also having a little bit of fun. So in today's video, I'm going over 3 major kombucha myths. Now, I'm starting off light and things will get a little bit more heated at the end, but I wanted to say that, you know, in the end, it's just kombucha, it's just a drink. So let's have a sip to lighten the mood before we begin. This is actually coffee kombucha, so if you're interested in that, I'll link a video up here, but I'll also put a link in the description box. Good stuff, guys. Real quick, if you are interested in being entered into a giveaway for some brute sample bottles, then please stick around to the end of the video. So the first myth is that you have to do your second ferment using a glass bottle. This is not true. While most people do use glass bottles, including myself, it's not a requirement. So I actually like to use bottles that are specifically made to hold carbonation because bottles can explode. It's never happened to me with kombucha tea, but I did have it happen once with kombucha. However, there's a lot of people that like to use old soda bottles, and the fermentation, the effervescence is wonderful, and they actually feel like it's a little bit easier because they know when their kombucha is ready. What happens is the plastic bottle will kind of pop in some, and that's how they know that the carbonation is ready to go. So if you're on a budget, or maybe you just don't want to invest in that kind of thing right now, then plastic bottles could be an option. Or what you could do is, if you still want to use glass, then you could use mason jars, or even, I know people that use old spaghetti jars. You know the spaghetti jars with the tin lids? Great fizz, great effervescence, and all is still good in the world. Number 2, are you ready? Ooh, whoop. Using distilled white vinegar will kill your SCOBY. I've seen a lot of debates about this one, and that's not actually true. So let's just review it. So there are, again, a lot of people that like to use a little bit of distilled white vinegar when they make kombucha. And I've narrowed it down to about 2 different groups. So one are the people that have, this is how they were taught. That's the type of kombucha they drank and they love. And that's just what they do, which is totally cool, right? And then you have the second group of people where they don't have enough starter tea to make a full batch of kombucha. So people have suggested using distilled white vinegar. Now, distilled white vinegar is very important. I'll talk about that in a second. If you want to use distilled white vinegar with the starter you do have and your SCOBY, then you can go ahead and use it. Most people don't use more than a 1/4 cup in a gallon of kombucha. Once you've made your first batch and you have plenty of starter tea, you don't have to continue using the distilled white vinegar, but if you want to, you can. If, however, you're one of those people that don't even want to touch the vinegar, then I have some options for you. One is that you can just take whatever amount of starter you have and just scale down the batch. So if you want to make a full gallon of kombucha, but you only have a 1/2 cup of starter, then make a 1/2 gallon, and so on from there. I also wanted to say that the SCOBYs hold a lot of kombucha. Have you ever noticed when you take it out and put on a plate, like there's all kinds of kombucha there? Have you ever squeezed one? A ton of kombucha comes out. Anyway, the second option is take the starter and SCOBY that you do have, and you're going to make a small glass of sweetened tea. So 8 ounces of water, 2 tea bags, green or black, and a 1/4 cup of sugar. Once it's cooled down and you remove the tea bags, then place your SCOBY and starter in there, cover it with a cloth or a napkin, and let it sit for about 2 weeks. What you'll see is the new SCOBY will form, but then the tea will become a really strong starter tea. Now, the warning. Make sure you're using distilled white vinegar, because if you use apple cider vinegar, I'm telling you right now, I gave you a warning, you could end up with something called vinegar eels. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's eels. I don't know how they're made, but they're vinegar eels, and they're serious, and they're pretty disgusting. You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember the movie The Lost Boys with Kiefer Sutherland? And they're sitting in the cave, and Kiefer Sutherland hands the guy Michael the box of white rice, and he goes to eat it, but it's maggots. Gross. That's what the vinegar eels look like. I've seen pictures of it, lots of pictures. So please don't use apple cider vinegar. If you're enjoying this video, guys, then please share it and please hit the subscribe button and, you know, hit that thumbs up. The third kombucha myth. This one might be a little bit more heated. You need a SCOBY to make kombucha. What? Let me explain. So when I say SCOBY, I'm talking about the cellulose mat. These things right here. Everybody's seen them, right? If you've looked up kombucha, then you've seen these. So this is a cellulose mat. The cellulose is a byproduct of the fermentation process. It gathers on top, acts as a protectant plug. And this is what most people, including myself, refer to as a SCOBY. You could also call it a biofilm or a pellicle. However, SCOBY stands for a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. You could also say a symbiotic culture or a symbiotic community, but it all means the same thing. However, do I have any boots here? Of course I do. But if you think about it, kombucha is actually the SCOBY because it has the bacteria, it has the yeast, they're living together as one, they need each other. And so kombucha really is what the SCOBY is. I think people just got used to having this and you don't need it. Myth dispelled. I've seen people argue for days, seriously, and get pretty nasty. So we don't have to get nasty, but we can argue. So if you want to take a chance and try something new and you like to make your kombucha without Mr. Pellicle here, what I do for a half-gallon jar is I use a cup of starter tea. Normally with pellicle mat, I would use a half a cup of starter and the pellicle. But when I'm not using it, I will use 1 cup of starter tea to a half gallon of sweetened tea. What I found is you'll still get a new pellicle mat on the top because that's, like I said, it's a byproduct of the fermentation process. But what I found is that the kombucha is more smooth, like it's more mellow. It's still effervescent. And I'm going to show you a picture. This is of the last batch that I made. I strained off the elderberries and these bottles sat for about 4 days, but wow, look at all that fizz. So I just wanted to say that, you know, what it really boils down to, all of these things is personal preference. As an example, Google how to make chocolate cake. How many recipes are you going to get? You're going to get thousands of them because there's so many different ways. Traditional chocolate cake, healthy chocolate cake, paleo chocolate cake, keto, vegan, coconut flour, almond flour, like blah, 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 whatever. So many different options. So it's really up to you. The world is yours to experiment with. As I said, I'm doing a giveaway for these Brooch second ferment flavorings. I did a video on it a couple months ago that I'll link up here, but also in the description box. And I have some extras that I would really love to give away. You would have to be in the continental US, so I'm sorry if you're not. And I will mail this to you for free. I just ask that you be a subscriber, hit the like button, and to please share the video and just leave me a comment of anything. It should just be a heart or a sad face or a smiley. Do a smile face, that's a little bit more positive. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks and then I would do a separate video of me drawing out the names and get those out to you.